Senator Henderson.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President. My question is to the Minister representing the Prime Minister, Senator Birmingham. Can the Minister inform the Senate on how the Morrison government's economic recovery plan is working to create more jobs and strengthen Australia's economy?
The Minister representing the Prime Minister, Senator Birmingham.
Thanks, Mr. President. I thank Senator Henderson for that question. A strong champion of small businesses across Australia, and I know deeply concerned to ensure the security of employment opportunities for all Australians. And Mr. President, against a backdrop of enormous global uncertainty, global pandemic, the first in 100 years, indeed an economic shock to the world, the greatest since the Great Depression, our government has sought at every juncture to ensure the economic security of Australia and Australians and its economic recovery from the shock of COVID-19. Our budgets handed down last year and this year framed the direction for our economic recovery plans to make sure that we kept as many Australian businesses as strong as possible, as many Australians in work as possible, and that we continue to grow employment opportunities wherever possible. And in the face of these enormous global uncertainties, it is pleasing to see the strength across the Australian economy, Mr. President. Australia's economy today is now larger than it was going into the pandemic. This is a feat that no other major advanced economy has achieved to date, to have recovered their economy to a bigger size than it was pre-pandemic. Over the last 3 quarters, we've seen some growth of 8.7%, the strongest growth in Australia in more than half a century, Mr. President. And today we have seen the dividend that creates for Australian and Australian workers, with the unemployment rate falling to 5.1% in May. There are now fewer unemployed persons in Australia than there were prior to the pandemic. We have seen jobs growth of 115,000 people for the month, well above expectations, demonstrating that across Australia the economic recovery is going strongly and creating opportunities for Australians.
Senator Henderson, a supplementary question.
Can the Minister outline some of the key job-creating measures that underpin the government's economic recovery plan?
Senator Birmingham.
Well, Mr. President, in the last budget we announced our plan to get more people back into work. Budget projections to show 250,000 further jobs to be created, and that plan is working. It's working strongly. It's underpinned by policies that drive investment by the private sector across the Australian economy. Our full expensing measures, all about encouraging Australian businesses to invest in their competitiveness, their productivity, and creating jobs for Australians across those sectors. And it's paying dividends. We've equally, of course, put money back in the pockets of hard-working Australians and their families by bringing forward income tax cuts, by providing the financial support for families to be empowered to make their own decisions and to get and keep more from their hard work. And on this side of the chamber, we are resolutely committed to lower taxes as a continued driving vehicle for economic growth, for business investment and to support Australian families, and it's a stark contrast to the uncertainty
Senator
on taxes
Birmingham,
of those opposite.
Time for the answers expired. Senator Henderson, a final supplementary question.
Minister, can you outline how the government's commitment to reducing taxes is creating more jobs and is strengthening Australia's economy?
Senator Birmingham.
Well, Mr. President, we're providing 10 million low and middle income earners with additional taxation relief to help with the economic recovery, to help create the support across the Australian economy to keep this jobs growth going. And Mr. President, the jobs growth we're seeing and the unemployment rates that have been achieved, it's little wonder there's a fair bit of silence from those opposite, because of course we can all recall the mayhem and catastrophe, the doomsday predictions that were coming from those opposite, the doomsday predictions of those who said that, of course, millions more would find themselves on unemployment, that millions more would be in difficulty. Those opposite, Mr. President, had no faith in Australia, Australian businesses, Australians, or the economic plans that have been proven to work. Economic plans that have been proven to work, Senator Wong. I know it breaks your heart to see record numbers of Australians in jobs, but we are proud to have